I was even telling my girl Jess, like she does just admin stuff, inputting crap onto spreadsheets. I'm like, you're the first one in the shoot, that's gonna get replaced. But
I'm
luckily,
going with worse. I just me and my kids just went to the supermarket right now. We didn't even get anything. We just went in there to we got a couple of items just for the day or whatever. And I probably left it with two bags, and that those two bags of things was already $50. So
and the valuation of the dollar, I don't think is going to be getting stronger anytime soon. We're just throwing money towards missiles and bombs and shit. And yeah, there's shipping problems, there's energy.
that folks left Chat GPT to go to Claude because they took a stance of no, we there's some lines that we're not going to cross in reference to utilizing tools and monitoring modern U.S. citizens and
Late night lights on the PX sign. Grab a snack, make the mission in time. Boots on gravel, stories begun. One last lap on a Shoppette Run.
all right, so let's go. Again, always a pleasure. We kind of pressed on time today, so and it's a beautiful day outside, so
Yeah, we got to get to it.
exactly gotta get out, right? So but no, I appreciate your time. So again, so concept for this episode is going to be we're going to it's going to be recap of Q1, but it's going to be our predictions for Q2. So the next 3 months. So it's going to be topics, and then we're just going to discuss if it's going to be better, if it's going to get better, if it's going to get worse, or if it's going to stay the same in the next, in Q2 of 2026. So
Okay, yeah, sounds good. Let's run it.
let's go. So first topic is going to be AI replacing white collar jobs. And your time is started.
Okay, better, I guess. I think that trend is going to continue, especially if you're doing basic admin stuff. That shit is closing. That loop is getting closed really quickly. I was even telling my girl Jess, like she does just admin stuff, inputting crap onto spreadsheets. I'm like, you're the first one in the shoot, that's gonna get replaced. But luckily, they got a small company, and her boss is kind of technologically in the past a little bit. So, but anyways, all that to be said, it's going to keep on going, man. It's going to keep on. Those things are just going to be getting erased.
Okay. And I understand why you say better, but you kind of say it's going to get worse for those folks that are those.
Worse for the workers, better for the AI, I guess, is what I said.
You good on time?
Yep.
I'm gonna go worse, but I understand what you're saying. I'm gonna go worse. I think we're seeing that already in these. I think, especially in Q2 or 2025 as a whole, but definitely in Q2, these companies are going to have to either bring their costs down, which we are seeing with a lot of job cuts right now, or they're going to have to show, hey, how is this AI and this stuff, how is it benefiting the bottom line? So I think it's going to get worse with, think about what they're going to do is cut a bunch of jobs to show that their capital expenditures on this AI stuff is paying off. But I think it's going to be a shell game, right? They're really just going to give rid of jobs to try to say, hey, no, we created more efficiencies with AI, but you have to do that now because you got to justify everything you spent in 2025 for the stuff there. So
Yeah,
that's
absolutely.
on that one. All right. So again, so we'll just leapfrog here. All right. So the next one is going to be cost of living in the U.S. All right, I'll go with this one. So I'm going with worse. Me and my kids just went to the supermarket right now. We didn't even get anything. We just went in there we got a couple of items just for the day or whatever. And I probably left it with two bags, and that those two bags of things was already $50. So if we kind of seeing what's going on with Iran and everybody's trying to find an excuse to make things more, right? Okay, if I can't get oil and then shipping costs is going to increase due to transit costs and everything, they're going to try to pass that along to the customer. So I definitely think the that topic is going to get worse as we go into, especially going into the summertime. All right, you good?
Yeah, I agree. Worse, 100%. I don't see any signs of this ship turning around at this point with all the global conflict all over the world, and the valuation of the dollar. I don't think is going to be getting stronger anytime soon. We're just throwing money towards missiles and bombs and shit. And yeah, there's shipping problems, there's energy problems, there's oil issues. Yeah, I just don't see anything that is going to help that out. I'm like, where's all that like tariff money? You know, like where I thought the economy was supposed to be booming and everything was going to be cheaper, and it's in fact quite the opposite. And I don't see it turning around. So worse for sure.
All right, next topic is going to be housing affordability and mortgage access. So that'll be my start. So I'm going to go with worst. Again, so I'm saying worst because I think as long as you still have, I don't want to call it a fight, but you kind of having those button heads between the Federal Reserve and the current administration, is going to be hard there to bring those interest rates down. So everybody, you know, when we just talk about grocery prices, then we talk about inflation, and we talk about interest rates and everything. I just don't think that those interest rates will get to a sweet bill that's going to let the people that got the COVID interest rates come up off those properties. And it's not going to be attractive enough. It's not going to get attractive enough for a new home buyer with all this turmoil kind of going on around it in order to make that big commitment to take on that much to take on that much debt. So I don't see that getting any better in the next 3 months or so. Good.
So I totally understand what you're saying, but a part of me almost wants to say better in a way just because there's a lot of inventory, and I think it might be giving buyers a little bit more room to negotiate. You know, a few years ago, it was like people were coming over top of asking price on homes, but now that is 100% not the case. So if you are looking to buy, I think you have a lot more power than you did a year or two ago because there's a ton of shit on the market. There's homes they've been sitting there for 6, 9 months. People are like, dang, we can't sell. So yeah, I think you got a little bit more room to negotiate, even though the interest rates aren't ideal. I mean, historically, they're not terrible. Like if you can get a 6%, historically, that's not that bad. It's just got used to that 2.5%. That's never going to happen again. But again, I think maybe the buyer has a little bit more negotiating power today, and through next quarter.
Good point. So that's funny because even in my cul-de-sac here, I see houses that are not selling. The for sale signs have been there for a while now. So
Yeah.
next one that's going to be on me. So next one is going to be social media impact on mental health, and I'm going to go with worst. I don't believe that I think we already opened with social media and everything that's going on right now. I think Pandora's box is open, and that's going to be literally impossible to stuff that back in the box. The funny thing is, when we did that last episode, Meta actually got found guilty in reference to that case on the person who said that they were directly impacted negatively by social media effects. But again, I don't now you have case law at least on it, but I don't see that getting any better. And either at the state level or the federal level, I don't think they're going to step in and start. I think maybe at the state level, but at federal levels, nobody's going to step in and try to, in the next 3 months anyway, and try to rein in, social media use or social media guidelines. I just think that ship has been sailed. So, you know,
Yeah, I think I would say same to be honest. I don't think it's going to necessarily get worse, but it's not necessarily going to get better. I think it's just kind of we're in it now, and we're just going to continue. But the only reason I don't say for sure worse is because I do start to notice some of the younger folks are kind of catching on, and they're like realizing this is not good for you. This is holding me back. Like I got to kind of detach myself from this. And when they're coming to those realizations on their own, that kind of gives me a little bit of hope. But you got to have the intelligence to see that and the discipline to execute some restrictions on yourself. So that's going to be case by case basis. So I think more of the same. Some people are going to do better, but a lot of people are just going to keep that doom scrolling rolling down the hill.
All right, this next one's going to be you. It's going to be military recruitment and retention.
Ooh, probably worse, I think. People are not as like gung ho USA, USA like the first time around when we were dabbling in the Middle East. Well, I shouldn't say the first time. Yeah, Desert Storm and all that. But, after 9/11, people were very patriotic. Like, the recruiter's office couldn't stay, they couldn't they couldn't process everyone fast enough. But now I think everyone's a little concerned. Like, what exactly are we doing in Iran? Like, what is the plan here? Are we putting troops like on the ground? Like, and why? So people are asking a lot of questions, and I think that's ultimately going to hurt both recruitment and retention.
I think I'm gonna go with the same. I'm gonna call it a wash. I think I believe this is a belief, right? I think there are still a lot of Americans, especially when it's called to action and there's some action actually going on, that are motivated by that and want to participate in those actions. And I think everybody that I think is kind of soured about the military right now are going to, exit stage left when it's that time. But I think there's still going to be enough healthy recruitment and recruits to come in. And I think with this current administration, if they do, I think they're going to try to sweeten the deal, right? They just bump the age up to folks that, hey, you're 42, come on in, right? So I think they're going to find different levers to try to pull in order to, either to maintain those recruitment numbers, so to speak. No.
Yeah, they're probably throwing crazy bonuses around too.
Yeah, exactly. That would be me. It's gonna be veterans benefits and VA system changes. I think that's going to be the same. I just don't think is at the forefront enough right now, especially with everything that's kind of going on with Iran and in the world. I think the VA, as always, I think that stuff is just going to take a back burner. It's going to be business as usual for the next quarter, or whatnot. Now, again, with a caveat, if some start bubbling up in reference to affecting veterans benefits, especially with a conflict going on, I think will it'll be a newsworthy thing, but I don't think anything policy wise is going to happen within the next quarter. But obviously, as veterans, we just be on the lookout for anybody that's trying to sneak something in while while everything's going on over here, try to sneak something in on this side. But I think it's going to be Veterans Administration is going to be that's more the same.
Yeah, I agree. Same for the most part. I don't think there's going to be any major changes. And you made a good point, with now a new conflict going on. There's always renewed vigor to, help out the veterans, protect veterans, benefits and their rights and all that. So anytime something's going on in the world, that kind of gets a little bit of a resurgence. And we also saw that they were kind of trying to pull a sneaky move not too long ago with this proposed legislation that they were going to slash people's entitlements if your medication was working. But of course, there was a mass freak out immediately. That was a really bad idea. And so that pretty much got, thrown into the bottom drawer almost as soon as it came out. So, but yeah, again, point being, same old shit with the VA. I don't see anything changing.
All right, next topic: the role of AI in everyday life, work, education, creativity.
Better, I believe. It's getting more and more powerful, and I'm starting to realize that myself as well. I'm an avid user, typically on Grok, and the last few updates have been impressive. I mean, it's just getting more and more capable, and I think the adoption rate is going to just continue to grow. People are going to try to leverage that, use it to its fullest potential, and figure out how it applies to their life. So yeah, it's not going anywhere, and I think we're just going to get more and more entwined with it. And of course, there's always dangers, but I think overall, it's going to be increasing people's productivity, their output, their ability to research and learn, and all kinds of things like that.
My take on that is, yeah, I'm gonna go better. I think kind of alluding to some of my earlier comments. I think you have to You got to show how is this going to impact one, obviously the enterprise level. So I think they're trucking along with that, but you got to show how it's going to impact that everyday life. You got to get the users in and get the users involved. And I still think there's still a small subset that's not utilizing obviously AI to its fullest capability to make our lives easier. So they need to start showing that functionality and how it's going to make our daily tasks or as a society and every day that's average user that's using a cell phone except or their laptops, how it's going to make them. So I think it's going to be a crucial quarter to show, hey, this can make your life a little bit easier, make some of your mundane tasks a little bit easier. So I do think that will be better for the next quarter.
Totally.
All right, and then all right, this is going to be the last one here, and I got some kind of bonus rounds that ChatGPT gave me. So, overall quality of life in America. Oh, that would be me, right? I think I'm starting. So, I'm I'm gonna take an optimistic route and let's go with the same. And we roll into summertime too, so I think the seasonal depression kind of lifts up or whatever. So I think a lot of people aren't going to be so focused on some of the news cycle things that are going on right now. Again, I think if we do the boots on the ground in Iran, that'll get really spotlighted and start affecting kind of daily kind of thought processes. But I do think that the quality of life in America um, will be kind of status quo for the next month or whatnot. So kids in school, everybody in their routine, right? Kids in school, people going to work or whatever. So I don't think that they have a lot of time, to kind of sit down and kind of see what's kind of going on around us. So I'm going. I think I started with the same. Yeah, I'm going with the same for that one.
Yeah, I agree. I think I would have to say same as well. And it kind of odes back to just a couple of the topics that we already talked about. It's like, yeah, on one hand, things are expensive and that part kind of sucks. But on the other hand, you now have access to all these really cool AI tools. So ideally, if you're using that to advantage, maybe you're coming up with ideas on how to save money, how to create a better budget, how to make some extra money. So ideally using that to help figure things out. But you nailed it though. We're going into summertime, so that'll kind of offset some of the shenanigans that people got to deal with. Those winter months are always a little tough depending on where you live. But yeah, same. As long as people are being balanced, like you got an issue, shit's expensive. Hey, get on Grok or Chat GPT, find a way around it, come up with some ideas, or make a couple extra bucks.
So all right, that was kind of the main topic. So this is gonna be this. It gave me some bonus topics. So we're gonna do lightning round. If you want to speak on it, you can. But if you just want to give a straight up, better, worse, same, you could also do so. So stock market outlook for everyday investors.
Who fucking knows? Probably worse.
I'm gonna go with worse. I'm gonna stick with worse until this conflict is up and we kind of have some smooth sailing. There's just too much volatility right now, so I'm gonna go with worse. Wealth gap
Yep.
in America.
Same, I think. I don't think it's changing.
I'm gonna go with same also. Um, Privacy in the digital age.
Hmm. I don't know. Maybe better. I don't know. Does AI like help protect against that? Honestly, I'm not sure.
Yeah. I'm gonna go with worse. Again, I think until we concede and say, "Hey, have all my have," I think the mission is for us to concede and just open up our medical records, our dental records, and our bank accounts and everything. I think that's where they want to get us to in order for this thing to fully function and fully work. So again, I think privacy is going the way of the dodo bird.
Yeah, you're probably right.
Work-life balance in modern careers.
I would like to think better. As long as people are using their time wisely, I think it should be better.
I'm gonna go with better. I think people are starting to kind of wake up of there's more to life than kind of the cube, the office, and things of that nature. So I think people are going to search out deliberately search out more work-life balance, start using those PTO days, and kind of getting out there in nature, or getting out there and doing things before their life is living. Nah, well, that sounds a little bit too morbid, but before it's over, right? So,
It's true, man. It's true.
all right, public trust in institutions.
Probably worse. I think everyone's real suspicious. The government, the big tech companies, I think everyone's kind of like giving everybody the side eye.
Yeah, I'm gonna go same. And I think what really kind of showed me that was that when Claude kind of stood on their square and said, "No, we're not going to do that with our AI tools. You can't do that." And that's a whole nother conversation because I kind of feel some type of way about that. I'm not sure. Some days I agree, some days I don't. Like, hey,
Yeah,
are you American or not? Like
I know.
we got some shit to do, right? So
Yeah,
I'm kind of 50 on that, but I see that that folks left Chat GPT to go to Claude because they took a stance of no, we there's some lines that we're not going to cross in reference to utilizing tools and monitoring modern U.S. citizens and things of that nature. So that's going to be an interesting arc story that I'm looking forward to kind of see how that plays out.
I know. It's kind of a trip. Like, is it inevitable? We're just going to become like mass surveillance. I mean, I think it probably is inevitable. There's already cameras everywhere. You put a couple of these smart AIs, that can access that shit, and now just by someone's gait or by their facial features or whatever, or everyone's got a GPS. I mean, there's not going to be any secrets. It's kind of like what you said with the privacy thing.
Yeah. All right, that was it, man. Just want to do a quick one real fast, kind of close out the quarters. Do some predictions on next quarter, and then probably next quarter we could just do the same and kind of look back and see if we was full of shit or not.
Yeah, yeah. It sounds like mostly we're thinking more of the same or worse across a lot of the topics. So, hopefully next quarter we can be like, hey, outlook looks a little better, a little more positive.
I mean, on the negatives, oh, it's wrong. It's actually way better. So we'll see.
Yeah, yeah. You never know. Maybe the markets will be booming and we'll all
No,
be loaded. Who knows?
we ain't at the moon anymore.
We got the opposite.
Quick comment that's on my mind right now. What you think about the Artemis 2? Or is it Artemis that just went up to the moon? But there's a lot of kind of backlash on because the old boy said, "Hey, this is the first time that we're going to the moon." Now everybody's kind of bringing back out the conspiracy theory of the moon landing, the fake videos of the moon landing. Any
I
thoughts?
know. I was joking around about that too. As it was launching, I was like, dude, it's so exciting that we're finally going to the moon for the first time, because that conspiracy is a fun one. And there's some wild rabbit holes, if you ever get bored and you can be like, sounds crazy. But either way, regardless, I'm excited about it. I love the idea of, space stuff in general, SpaceX and making a moon base at some point and launching things out, making data centers in space or whatever, all that kind of crap. Like I'm a nerd, I'm a sci-fi bro, so I get excited about it. I think it's awesome.
Yeah, I'm the opposite of that. I could care less, man. I don't care about a rover on Mars. I'm sorry, I just don't care. I don't care about moon landings and things of that nature. Now, for I'll take I'll contradict myself. Now, the the man and the mental and the sciences and everything that it takes to accomplish those things, I'm into. Like, hey, we want to get beyond the stars. I get that point, but do I care what's on the moon or what the? And I don't care personally. Like, so, but we'll see. But again, as far as discovery, not discovery, as far as that using those mental, you know, we talk about Wright brothers and airplanes and kind of figuring that piece out, and now space travel and things of like that. I am proud and interested in those things, but I don't care about another planet right right now. We got enough shit going on.
Yeah, that's fair. That totally makes sense. I guess I just think about like not only the cool aspect of like going to the stars, but also like potential economic aspects as well, right? I mean, if we get like all kinds of like solar arrays up in space that can somehow beam energy down to the planet, we can start harvesting asteroids or maybe even mining on the moon. I'm like, hell yeah, bro, let's ramp up production. Let's get shit done.
I just watched a movie. I'm kind of late watching damn. Uh, I can't think of it. It's a Netflix movie. It came out a while ago. It's like a sci-fi comedy type thing, but that's what they was trying to do. Like they was going to blow the asteroid up, but the company saw that, oh no, if we get this asteroid, we could make money off it or something. And then their plan went to shit, and then the whole world kind of died. Damn, what the hell is
Yeah.
we called?
Was it Don't Look Up?
Yeah, that one. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
that one.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, so you got your little Steve Jobs, Tim Cook dude sitting there like, oh, it's gonna work, and then that shit didn't work. So that shit was fun.
Yeah.
All right, man.
Yeah, man.
Man, we could ramble on for days, but
Absolutely.
all right, I'll get you this. We'll talk. I'll talk offline with you.
All right, bro. Sounds good, man. I'll catch you on the next one.
Sure.
Hell yeah.
Late night lights on the PX sign. Grab a snack, make the mission in time. Boots on gravel, stories begun. One last lap on a Shoppette Run.